Let's talk about knee joint pain. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me about sort of non-specific knee pain that they're experiencing, especially when they travel. So this means when you're sat for a long time and that joint is closed for a long time, you're starting to experience discomfort, either on the inside, above, or underneath the kneecap. Often, but not only, this is happening to people who are quite tall or have very long femurs, so a long thigh. And this is normally happening because there's not really enough space for the muscle tissue to be comfortably bent at that angle for that amount of time. So what is the solution? Of course, stretching out your quads and hip flexors and hamstrings is super important. But as we know, stretching is not the answer on its own. We want to take those tight muscle groups and work them into length. We want to show them that they can be strong, comfortable, and pliable when at length. Okay, so follow along for these 3 exercises on how to ensure that you have less knee pain. We're going to start off with what I call your moving quad stretch. Now, this is performed standing, and you're going to want to make sure that you have something to help you with your balance. So get yourself next to a wall or something sturdy. And we're going to bring the leg up to hip height in a 90-degree angle. Okay, now from here, I want to send my thigh down, keeping the shape of the leg, and I want to see how far back I can push that foot, and then I want to control it all the way back in. So as it comes through this position, it's almost like a quad stretch, but it's super active. I'll be activating into my hamstring and my glute, keeping that foot flexed, keeping the shape of that leg, and then coming all the way in. Now, while I'm doing this, I want to make sure that I don't just arch and collapse into my spine. I want to make sure I'm keeping my lower abdominals in and up so that I really have to work into this hamstring and glute as I'm doing it. Now, I'm also working a bit of stability on the opposite side, but this is not a stability exercise. So that's why you've got your balance support right next to you. And I want to do about 8 of these on either side, keeping the shape, pushing it back, and bringing it up. Our second exercise also requires a little bit of balance, so feel free to put yourself next to something you can stabilize. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with both feet. We're going to lift the heels up. So the heels are lifted, and from there, I'm just going to bend the knees ever so slightly. And I just want to find a bit of stability right here. So my heels are lifted, my knees are bent. It's as if I'm going to go into a squat, but I'm just holding it there. It's essentially a half squat position for about 10 seconds or so, and then I'm going to come out of that and relax. Now, once you've done it on both legs and you're feeling confident and comfortable with that, we're going to take it onto one leg. One leg is where we want to be working. So my other leg is completely off the floor. I'm going to lift the heel, and then I'm going to bend into that knee. Now, you're going to feel a lot of movement into that lower leg. Maybe your ankle is going side to side. Maybe your calf is talking to you. Your quad will definitely be switched on, and you want to stay as stable as possible. Okay? Of course, to challenge your balance, you can let go of whatever you're holding on to. Try and be still for 10 seconds and then relax. Remember, swap it over onto the other side and try for the same amount of time. Supporting heel is lifted, the knee is tracking over the toes, and I'm trying to balance here. The final exercise is our kneeling hinges. So you want to make sure that you are kneeling on something comfortable. Make sure your knees are on a comfortable surface. When I'm in this position, I'm going to draw up my lower abdominals and knit my rib cage closed. Okay? Keeping that shape, I'm going to start to lean backwards. So the tailbone remains tucked away, belly tight, ribs knitted. I want to feel the length through the quad and then come all the way back up. Okay, so showing you side view, tailbone tucked away, core is strong. I'm leaning back from the knees, so the body is hinging just as far as I can go. Pause for a second and then come back. As you're doing this, you are going to feel a lot of work in those quads. Okay, that's what we want. We want that eccentric work, that lengthening work through the quads and coming back. Very important to keep those lower abdominals on. Keep squeezing through the glutes. We want to ensure that the spine is safe through this movement. Play with how far back you can go and come back up. These 3 exercises are perfect for anyone who's experiencing pain around the knee joint, whether that's after sitting for long periods of time or during or after any exercise that you're currently doing. Throw these movements into your daily practices and feel the difference. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if these movements are working for you, leave us a comment below.